morning. It's been a minute. Been busy with work, school, and other fun activities. Today we tried launching at Oceanside Harbor. I was not aware that they were closed for a marathon. So plan B, we're on Camp Pendleton. We are launching at their super slippery boat ramp. So I'm gonna take off my shoes before I go in. Game plan today is pretty simple. I brought a whole bunch of swim baits, plastics, crankbaits, you name it. We're gonna first stop off at Buck Pipe. It's about a 2-mile ride, which should only take 10 minutes. Not too bad. I will be using my Yamaha 8 outboard motor. This thing weighs 90 pounds, so it is definitely beefy. It goes onto the back of the Scout 430 transom. I did upgrade the transom. It's a aluminum plate, which I have some other videos on the channel that show how I made it. I will probably be remaking that video because it's a little long and it's a little helter-skelter, so I figured I'd make a solid 10-minute video that gives you the correct information. For right now, I'm gonna set up the boat. I'm gonna give you guys some tips. I'm gonna explain what's new about the Scout 430. So, why don't you hop down from my rack and I'll show you some things. All right, so as you can tell, it is quite a different color. I spray painted it straight black, and then I added green stripes, yellow stripes, and red stripes. The reason for that, I wanted to get a Rasta design. Scout makes a camo, but only in the 365, which is the 12-foot version. And so I wanted something that was my own design. So went ahead and spray painted it. Obviously, yes, it does come off here and there. If I look really closely from where I hit it on the bars and strapped it down, it does come off, which is okay. I don't mind. It's a great fun experience. It's exciting to customize your own boat to how you want it. We are gonna be rocking our swivel chair. We're gonna put the swivel seat right here in the middle. The wood is gonna clip on right here. And then we're gonna screw some nuts down so I don't fall out when I'm bouncing all over the place. Up front, I'm gonna have another plate that's gonna have my transducer, fish finder, and then my rods are gonna lay across and fit underneath the handle right here. In the back, we're gonna have our 90-pound outboard motor. Then we're gonna have our fuel tank, box of tackle, camera equipment, all that fun stuff. Chair. This is my special place for all my feet. The bar that goes across. Oh, that is wet. And then the bar that goes across. When I get to the harbor, my boat is not fully pumped up yet because putting on the seat, you have to have it a little deflated, so your pontoons will kind of come a little closer. Once inflated, it'll spread back out. So we have the battery powered pump. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start with one of the harder things, which is putting on the seat, and then we will go from there. So unfortunately, I thought I was recording, but I guess not. So I spent, I don't know, 20 minutes setting up and explaining everything, and none of it was recording, but oh well, we can do it again. So first things first, this is a dolly or cart I made for my outboard motor. I have a 90-pound outboard motor, which sits right here. I don't clamp it down, I just let it sit here. There's wheels on the front, which fits into my grooves here on the truck bed. All I have to do is lift from the bottom, and it slides right in so effortlessly. And bam, locked and loaded. Now, let's walk over to the boat. We have a Yamaha 8 outboard motor on the back. We have a 6-gallon fuel tank. We have a Tupperware full of camera equipment and other tackle. We have our swivel seat. We have a few rods, which are underneath the handle so they don't flop around when going at full speed. We have our aluminum board, which I added the ruler, which you see in the middle. It's a aluminum ruler from Home Depot, so it won't rust. The only thing that rusts on this board are the bolts and screws. We also have a universal, I don't know what you call it, Scotty mount fish finder transducer. So I created a little DIY project, and I attached my transducer to this fishing rod holder, and that way I can automatically switch it from the boat to the kayak. Makes things so much easier instead of having to unscrew everything and mount new items on. Our fish finder is going to be powered with the Bixby battery. I don't have a mount for the actual fish finder to sit on, which is totally fine. I prefer to hold it in my hands. Then we have a GoPro underneath for underwater footage. Another thing I want to talk about, we have obviously our radio for safety. We have the ocean paddle. We have a manual pump because there is no drain in the back here. This is all aluminum. So when water does get in, it fills up a little bit. You're not gonna sink, but it just makes it a lot easier to pump out from the back right here. I also wanna mention this tiller extension. There are plenty of tiller extensions here on Amazon. However, I highly recommend you get the one with the elbow. Sorry about the noise in the background. We got Camp Pendleton training. So this one's a little corroded because it's obviously been sitting for a few months, haven't been out on the water. But this makes it a lot easier. When I turn up here, it'll turn back down here. I've tried the long ones and you have to like extend your hand out really far and you don't make a nice turn. It just doesn't make sense. So I'll show you on the water. But with this one, you barely have to turn. You don't even have to turn. You just push backwards or you pull forwards and your motor will turn left or right. It makes it so much easier. We are ready to get on the water. I'm gonna go park the vehicle and I will see you guys here in a moment. Oh my word, it's so noisy. All right, well anyways, we are getting ready to head on out. I'm gonna walk the boat out a couple feet of water. I'm gonna start the motor, hop in, and then we should be good to go. Alrighty, the motor is running right now. I'm in about 3 feet of water and it is absolutely freezing. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on in. Game plan, like I said before, we're gonna go straight out past Oceanside Pier. We're gonna hit Buck Pipe. Now for those of you who don't know, Buck Pipe is right off of Buccaneer Beach. It's a sewer line. There's a bunch of rocks, a bunch of species, and it goes out pretty stinking far. Now, to find it, it's pretty simple. As long as you have a fish finder, you'll be able to see it. You wanna be about half a mile to a mile out. You're just gonna continue to go parallel with shore. You'll see a big bump on your fish finder and that's the pipe. Now for me, when I go out on my kayak, I don't usually bring my fish finder. So what I do is I'll take Google Maps and I'll pinpoint different spots. But to do that, I'll zigzag back and forth with the fish finder and sooner or later I'll have this long line of pins on Google Maps and then I can go fish the pipe without a fish finder. So with that being said, oh, water's rising, it's freezing. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on in. Hippity hoppity. Alrighty, isn't this much more pleasant? So feet hang here. I don't need a lot of leg room. I find comfort in the weirdest places. Anyways, rods are up underneath the handle besides the little one. Oh, let me go this way. In the back, we have our motor running. It is in forward. We have our paddle, gas, fuel, and tackle. Now, let me show you about the tiller extension. It has an elbow, so I can hold it right here on my right-hand side. And all I have to do, I have to push backwards or I pull forwards to turn. That's all I have to do. So, right here, backwards, forwards, and so forth. And it doesn't look like much because the GoPro's a wide angle lens, but it turns pretty well. And when I twist the handle here, it'll speed up or slow down the motor. So it makes it super easy. I've tried the stiff arm where it's just that long one and you put your hand out to here and like the motor's turned how it is right now. It's awful. So if you do get a tiller extension, get the one with the elbow. I believe it was $23 when I bought it. It could be $32 now. I don't know. Anyways, next order of business, let me tell you about the transducer arm here. So this is from a fishing rod holder. I cut off the bottom here to where it'll be able to squeeze together. I went ahead and joined these two together with the bolt, the ones that were on the normal transducer. And then all this does is it slides down in the water. But oh no, it doesn't touch. Hey, that's the great thing about using a fishing rod holder. All I have to do is unscrew this piece and there's little mounts that lock this rod holder in place. And so I can tilt this down or tilt it up, giving me an extra 6 inches to get down in the water. So we're gonna leave that like that. Today we got a huge majority of plastics. I brought literally every plastic I had, almost every plastic I had. You would think it's every plastic because of how much I brought. Anyways, I want to do something like every fish that's caught on a bait, I switch out the bait. Obviously with that, you kind of get a little bored and frustrated and you want to continue to fish the one that's working, you don't want to switch out. So it'll be fun today. The wind is supposed to be really calm. That means we're going to be able to jet across the water super simple and easily, which I am excited for. Another thing I want to mention, I put pool noodles in the bottom of my boat, which you probably saw in some previous videos on Instagram. I do a lot of DIY stuff. The Instagram I'll put right here. It is called scout.430. I haven't been posting in a while because I've been missing in action due to a broken foot, but we are back out on the water now. But basically what that does is it creates a V shape with the pool noodles underneath, allowing me to cut through the chop as well as get on plane easily. With my seat here in the middle, I can get up on plane super easily. My weight is evenly distributed and I can get the most mileage with as much fuel as you have, if that makes any sense. To full blast and 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, baby. We are booking it. There we go, we'll pass by this buoy. Here's my tiller extension. I can turn left and right, but I'm not going to do this at fast speeds, mainly for slower speeds. But we are booking it. As I mentioned before, Oceanside Harbor was closed due to the marathon. Here is the Sea Star. They're doing a burial. Alrighty, I kind of lost track of time. I thought we were gonna stop at the pier and I was gonna do a little update, but I ended up getting here way quicker than I thought. So if I look at my time right now, it only took us 11 minutes to get here, which is not bad at all. I went ahead and put down the fish finder and the transducer. As you see, I am coming up on the pipe right now. We have some bait fish and some other fish. It's a good little lump. Now what I do is I like to zigzag back and forth because sometimes the fish finder will read the pipe differently, and then other times you'll see all this purple on the other side. Do a circle right now. Motor is turning. All right, here it is. Yeah, see how it's a lot, well, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little more features. You see fish now compared to when we first hit it, it was all yellow. So that's the pipe. It's a little bump, but it has plenty of fish on it. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Man, you gotta love it when you turn off the camera and then you get a stinking crazy hard bite and you lose it. You lose it. It's all good. Right now we just hit bottom. I'm doing a slow retrieval. I got one. No! Dang it! All right, so this is what we're throwing out. Nice slim body, bait fish color with a 6-pound test. So hopefully we don't break off because we are fishing a very rocky structure. I am gonna throw this guy right here. Fish on. Oh, and now he's stuck. Get out of here, please. The first fish and I get stuck. All right, I just hooked up to a sand bass on the unicorn baits, drop shot style. Oh, sorry, my mistake, calico bass. Bada bam. Oh, there is the calico. Here is the plastic. Go ahead and she gone. Alrighty, we just got another little fish. This time is on different plastic. Ah, there we go, little guy. So here we go. We got a good little calico bass, little tiny guy. We're gonna go ahead. That's funny. All right, good riddance. Oh my word, he you know what they say, big baits equals big fish. So I just put a wet bandit bait underspin with a fluke, which is like 6 inches. Dude, look at the size of this sculpin. Talk about this. Oh my gosh, this guy is like biting down on my hand so hard. There's the fluke. Here's the fish. All right, it's been a while, had some stuff to do, so back out on the water. It has been 3 hours, and it appears the red tide came in because it's a lot murkier. I just got another really good sculpin right here, and it looks the same size and length, but it's a lot skinnier. Got it on a white grub made by Unicorn Baits. Big head, big spines. Now, what makes these guys poisonous are their spines. You got poison all here. You got poison on the bottom fins. These guys right here, even their face spines. But really good eating. Fun fight on 6-pound test. So we are going to let this guy go. Sun feels amazing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alrighty, so this is a little contraption. This is a dolly for my 90-pound outboard motor. It also holds the fuel tank. There's wheels at the front of it only because it slides in the ribs of the tailgate.